Briefing on December 22, 2024. Subject: Trump re-elected as President of the United States. Key points. 1. Immediately after his election, Trump criticized Panama's management of the Panama Canal, claiming the costs were too high, and threatened to demand that U.S. ally Panama return the canal if it did not manage it in an acceptable manner. 2. Shortly after Trump's election, a New York court ruled that ABC must pay $15 million in defamation damages to the Trump Presidential Library. This case stemmed from host George Stephanopoulos incorrectly stating on air that Trump had been convicted of raping former columnist Carroll. 3. Trump will officially be inaugurated on January 20, 2025, with the ceremony taking place at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. The public can apply for free tickets through congressional representatives to attend the inauguration. Major television networks will broadcast Trump's inauguration live. 4. Trump supporters are frantically purchasing various Trump merchandise, including watches priced at $100,000 and perfumes at $1.99. Most of these products have little to do with Trump himself and are primarily intended for profit. Summary: Trump is set to return to the White House, with his first actions including criticism of Panama's mismanagement of the canal and threats to reclaim it. Meanwhile, his supporters are eagerly buying various Trump-related merchandise, showcasing the strong influence of Trump's personal brand. Overall, Trump's second term is expected to continue his unique political style and approach. Briefing on December 22, 2024, Trump team updates. 1. On April 2, 2023, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced that it had notified Trump's legal team to have Trump appear at the office for arrest on Tuesday. This marks the first time in U.S. history that a former president has been criminally indicted. The charges involve Trump allegedly paying hush money to two adult film actresses during the 2016 presidential campaign. 2. Republican Senator Ted Cruz called the indictment unprecedented and a catastrophic escalation of the weaponization of the judicial system. However, this indictment is not expected to have legal implications for Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. 3. In April 2023, Peter Mandelson, a senior figure in the UK Labour Party, was appointed as the British ambassador to the US, which sparked strong dissatisfaction from Trump's team. A former campaign coordinator for Trump referred to Mandelson as an idiot, expressing concerns that this appointment could lead to the UK being excluded from important discussions with Trump's team. 4. In November 2023, the Georgia Court of Appeals ruled that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her team did not have the authority to continue prosecuting Trump for alleged interference in the 2020 presidential election. The court found that Willis had a conflict of interest and should not be involved in the prosecution of this case. 5. Trump stated that this case should be thrown out entirely, arguing that it is an attack initiated by the Biden Justice Department against a political opponent, led by a corrupt prosecutor, and that there are serious issues with the process. Overall, Trump's team is currently facing multiple legal challenges but has made some progress in key cases, with Trump himself indicating that he will continue to defend himself. The future movements of Trump's team are worth watching. Briefing on December 22, 2024, Trump's legal dilemmas with Truth Social. Main content. 1. On August 10, 2023, Trump was formally indicted in federal court in Washington, D.C., on charges related to the 2020 presidential election, facing 4 felony counts. Prosecutors allege that he attempted to illegally undermine legitimate votes and overturn the election results. 2. Trump's defense attorney stated that more time is needed to analyze the evidence, while the judge assured that a fair and impartial trial process would be ensured. Some police officers involved in the January 6 Capitol riot attended the hearing. 3. Trump complained on social media that the case could not be fairly adjudicated and called for the judge to recuse herself. Prosecutors requested restrictions on Trump's public disclosure of sensitive evidence, leading to a debate between both sides regarding freedom of speech rights. 4. This case is one of 3 federal charges Trump is facing. He has also been indicted in New York and Florida. Georgia is also investigating Trump's and his supporters' attempts to influence the 2020 election results. 5. Experts analyze that the key issue in this case is whether Trump can prove that his statements fall under the category of free speech rather than incitement. If convicted, it would not affect his eligibility for the 2024 presidential campaign but could damage his reputation. Overall, this case reflects Trump's complex situation amid his political and legal challenges, with significant uncertainty about its future trajectory. Briefing on December 22, 2024, U.S.-China relations in Trump's second term. Article overview. 1. As Trump prepares for his second term as President of the United States, his policy towards China will be determined by his newly appointed National Security Team. This team represents three major factions within the Republican Party: hawks, conservatives, and prioritizers. 2. Key figures among the hawks, such as Mike Waltz and Marco Rubio, advocate for the U.S. to maintain its global leadership role, including countering competitors like China and Russia. Conservative representatives, such as Nikki Haley, argue that the U.S. should reduce its global influence and focus on domestic issues. Prioritizers, like Mike Higgins and Stephen Yates, believe that the U.S. should view China as the top threat and concentrate efforts on containing it. 3. Trump's own stance on China is unclear. At times he emphasizes trade deficits and advocates for tariffs on China, while at other times he is reluctant to commit to military action regarding Taiwan. He may adopt a transactional approach to manage U.S.-China relations. 4. Trump's new national security team largely consists of hardliners on China, who may push Trump to adopt a tougher stance towards Beijing. However, Trump's isolationist tendencies could also influence the final direction of policy. The future trajectory of U.S.-China relations over the next 4 years remains uncertain. Briefing on December 22, 2024, Trump's cabinet. Overview. As the 2020 U.S. presidential election entered its final month, Democratic candidate Joe Biden led Republican candidate Trump in the polls. During October, Trump and his family contracted COVID-19 but ultimately recovered and were discharged from the hospital. The two candidates engaged in a heated debate during their final face-off, discussing issues such as the pandemic, the economy, and climate change. Meanwhile, controversies surrounding the Hunter Biden laptop incident continued to escalate. Key points. 1. Trump contracted COVID-19 but ultimately recovered and stated, "Don't be afraid of COVID." 2. Biden and Trump had a contentious final debate, engaging in heated discussions on several major issues. 3. The Hunter Biden laptop incident garnered widespread attention, leading to intense exchanges between the two parties. 4. Three political commentators made differing predictions about the election outcome, with Trump supporters forecasting his re-election and Biden supporters predicting his victory. Summary. As the 2020 U.S. presidential election reached a critical juncture, the two candidates faced off vigorously, debating several significant issues. Trump, having recovered from COVID-19, maintained a strong stance. The Hunter Biden laptop incident also drew considerable attention. The differing predictions from three political commentators reflected the divisions among party supporters. Overall, this election was filled with drama, and the outcome remained unpredictable.